Hello everyone and welcome back to Cloudfall Zoo. So remember last week when I said the next episode will be out in under a week? I lied again, it's actually been a week and a day, but better late than never. And yeah, it's finally time to show off the reptile park. In case you don't know what Cloudfall Zoo is, it's my ZSU zoo. In case you don't know what ZSU is, I explained it in the first episode, so you should have watched the first episode. But anyway, it's like a little role-playing zoo community thing, a little Discord thing. So you slowly start off with a small collection of animals, and you gain animals through trading with other people, other zoos, that kind of thing. Again, I explained it better in my first episode, but yeah, the link to the Discord will be in the description in case you want to join. In case this is the first you're hearing of ZSU, because anyone can join. You start off with a zoo, start small and grow big. Maybe one day you'll have a reptile collection like me, like what I'm gonna show today. So without any further ado, let's go on in. So yeah, the reptile park. Like I said last episode, I just want to say before we go in, it is a bit more high budget than the stuff I've shown beforehand, which I think makes sense because slowly over time you start off cheap and then get expensive stuff, and the stuff I build here is quite expensive. So I like to think the zoo sponsors splurge a little with here. So yeah, we come in, you can see the reptile show times and the feeding times. We've got crocodile feeding, alligator feedings, and then those are spring and summer only because during the winter you don't feed these animals. It affects the digestion. I have a whole explanation here. You also got reptile shows every day, even in winter, because you can take the animals outside for, but I guess unless it's really cold or raining, because I don't have any shade structures or shelter. But yeah, and then also I put a couple sponsors here because this place is fancy, like I said. So we have Jason Memorial Conservation Fund, that's a reference only like 3 people are going to get, and then of course Gulpy, the Planet Zoo in-game brand. And yeah, this is the reptile area. So I don't really have anything in particular I was basing this on. It's just kind of me freebuilding. There's probably some stuff in the back of my head, but nothing I can point to directly. In the first enclosure we can see here, let's see someone running away. We got our radiated tortoises. Yeah, we got a pair in here. We saw where the one was. I don't know where the other one is, but they're probably chilling in their shelter because we got a little shelter there. So it gets cold, it has heat lamps. During the winter they're probably just gonna stay in there the whole time. Oh, there's the other one popped up from behind the aloes. So yeah, a lot of the animals have indoor homes, so during winter when it gets cold you can take them inside, except for the tortoises, because tortoises just got these little sheds and they can stay inside for winter. Because that's kind of what Johannesburg Zoo does with their tortoises. They have like this little greenhouse shed with heat lamps, and the tortoises are just in there for the winter when it gets cold, and then summer they come out. So did the same thing here, because this zoo is based in Cape Town, and Cape Town doesn't get as cold as Johannesburg. It still gets pretty chilly. I think like winter lows it can reach like about 0 degrees Celsius. So, and that can like be harmful to your reptiles. So the smaller ones you want to keep inside or just give heat lamp access. So yeah, we'll see all the indoor homes and all of that for them. Next up we have our American alligator. Sign over here, we should see this is their outdoor exhibit. We got this little netting so people don't fall in and drop stuff, and the alligators also don't jump out at you. But yeah, we got one over there. I'm sure the other ones are. Yeah, we got a little water. This is probably just, the pump filtering in new water. Like this faux rock thing is probably an extension of the pump stuff. I'm gonna make a water purification center. I think I was supposed to do that for this episode. Oh well, I forgot. That'll be in the future. I'm gonna do something in the future, and that the water purification will make more sense for them. But anyway, you've got another view into the radiated tortoise exhibit, a bit high of a view. And like I said, this entire zoo is built on a slope. I've said this many times, but it can be a pain. But also, you get creative viewing. So like on that side, you're eye level with the tortoises. You're a little bit above. And you'll see, I came up with some creative solutions for some of the exhibits. when we have the terrain differences, but yeah. And on the next enclosure we have the African dwarf crocodile, which has got a little female sitting here. She got a little pond here for some reason, I don't know why, but it can't actually swim into the front here. It's really weird, I don't know, but I mean, she still stays in the water, so that's good. She can still swim a bit. Got a little shade structure and some heat lamps. And then also this dwarf crocodile shares a little enclosure with some goldfish and Siamese alligators. So I didn't have pictures for some of the fish I'm implying. I actually do have some fish in here, there's some mods, but a lot of the fish are implied, so I didn't have pictures for them. So I just drew a little something for the fish. And yeah. So yeah, the fish will be swimming around here. I have seen goldfish mixed with dwarf crocodile before, and I assume alligator is also small enough to stay out of the way. Also got all this little debris and that, so the fish can take shelter. Yeah, I like mixed fish and reptile exhibits. Quite a few of this place has that. So yeah, this is a reptile area, but this is the only place you will see fish in Cloudfall Zoo at the moment, actually. So yeah. Also got a few extra educational signs around here. Like I said, that's last week I said the episode was delayed because I wanted to make signs. I didn't make all the signs I wanted to, but I made a good decent chunk of them. So yeah, got a little sign for testudines here. You can read through them, pause the video, find all my spelling errors and whatnot. So yeah, if that was the long way. If you want to take the shortcut, you can just come straight this way from the entrance. If like maybe you're late for the reptile show, then you can come this way. Over here we have our Aldabra giant tortoises. Got a pair of them. There's one over here, and there's the other one chilling inside the shelter. We've also got this cool pool. This is the in-game like enrichment pool, which actually works better than the in-game water because the water levels were weird, so I couldn't get it right. And also the tortoises can't go in actual water, even though it's really shallow, and tortoises, like the giant tortoises, need a little bit of a pool to bathe in, or a little mud wallow. But with the enrichment pool, they can actually go inside, which is quite cool. I can show you over here. Ooh, hi. This guy's just wallowing in the water a little bit. Yeah, I really like that. We've got the sign for the Aldabra giant tortoise. Yeah, that's cool. And next up, we've got a bit of a weird enclosure. This is a bit of a creative enclosure. I haven't seen anything like this before, but I like how it turned out. Got an enclosure for quite a few animals. Yeah, we got two species of iguanas, a green iguana and rhinoceros iguana, and a Chinese softshell turtle. I didn't have one for a picture for the softshell turtle. I still need to draw something to put in here, but yeah. And we also got a radiate slider in here, but I didn't sign them because there's another enclosure with them, and that also has signs. And you know, sometimes zoos don't have signs for all the animals. We also got two other fish in here. We've got the Mozambique tilapia and the western mosquito fish. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, the dwarf crocodile is a mod. I'm not sure who made it. The links to all the mods will be in the description. But here we can see some other mods. We can see a miracle of nature, as this fish walks on land but realizes he was caught and jumps back into the water. That's right, don't evolve in front of me. But yeah, we've got these fish. I believe these were made by Leaf or ported by Leaf. And these are blue tilapia, but they look fairly similar to the Mozambique tilapia, so yeah. And we also got some there's the Chinese softshell turtles. They also modded in. For some reason, both of them are right on top of each other, so it looks like a six-legged turtle. That's weird. Let me just see if I can change the lighting a little bit so we can see here. Ah! It's evolving again. We can see the tortoises riding the fish. Yeah, I believe Leaf also did some work on the turtles. Let's say tortoise. A little waterfall here, of course, you know. Yeah, big old underwater viewing area here. Got some branches and that, so the mosquito fish can retreat in there. Obviously, mosquito fish don't have a mod. Mosquito fish are really tiny, so I don't expect the mod to ever show up. Yeah, these fish mods are great as well. They occasionally jump on land, but for the most part they stay in the water. And yeah, here's our first iguana. This is a lesser Attilian iguana mod. He's sitting on top of the fish, but I'm pretending it's a rhinoceros iguana. Then there's a green iguana here somewhere, probably inside. You can see the little staircase that goes inside, and that's the indoor room for the iguanas. The fish, all the fish that I put in the outdoor enclosures, a lot of them are native. So like Mozambique tilapia is native, but like mosquito fish, goldfish obviously aren't. But they are still hardy species and they can survive the outdoor temperatures, so they don't have to be taken inside for the winter. So in the winter, when none of the reptiles are here, you can still come outside and appreciate the fish. At least. And yeah, so which way shall we go? I think I can take a little peek at the staircase a bit more and see the iguanas can go up and down there. Fortunately, the turtles and fish seems to stay at the bottom, which was the plan. Realistically, the turtles wouldn't go up there, and the fish definitely wouldn't go up there. But yeah. Got another sign, you know, in case reminding you of these reptile show times and feeding times. I put a few of them around the zoo in other places, just so you know if you're walking around and you can be like, oh, they have crocodiles and alligators and they feed them. Oh, look at the time, the show's gonna start, let's go run and see the show. Yeah. Then over here we have a little tank. This tank isn't really for any dedicated species, it's just like a miscellaneous tank. I like to think of it as a nursery tank, so if you have any baby crocodiles or something, they'll come in here. And right now we got a couple African helmeted turtles, or marsh terrapins, or cape terrapins, so that's what these are supposed to be. They're just two gutter pieces and some other pieces, so very simple. No mod for them, unfortunately. I hope we'll get mods for something like that. I think radiate sliders would probably get a mod because that's a really common species in captivity. Good old sign. What is a reptile? Here we have another American alligator enclosure, but this one's for baby alligators. Not exactly babies, but juvenile, so they're a bit more grown up. Of course, the in-game babies are too small, and then the smallest alligator you can get in-game is too big for this enclosure, so I'm just pretending these dwarf caimans are juvenile alligators. But we also got a friend with them here. If we come over here, we can see it. We've got a little alligator snapping turtle. So this is also a mod. I think Leaf as well. Just check the description. Please don't take my word for who made the mods. Yeah, alligator snapping turtle chilling in this pond here. And I mean, realistically, I'd either have this turtle a bit smaller or these alligators a bit bigger, so the alligator doesn't try and fight with them. I think this pool would also have mosquito fish in, and there's a lot of branches and stuff, so the mosquito fish can flee in, and mosquito fish also breed very easily, so even if some do get nipped off by the snapping turtle, they should repopulate easily. Here we come over here, and here we have the main viewing really for the American alligator. So yeah, this is where you can see most of the outdoor enclosure. You can peek back there. That's a viewing area you saw earlier. This gives you a broader view, so you can see one over here, another one over there. There's a third one somewhere, probably inside. Oh no, yeah it is. Yeah, I really like how this enclosure turned out. Little sandbank over there so they can sunbask, or they can just go sit on the grass. We'll of course have this little glass here. I'm not sure what these people are looking at because there's no animals in that direction. But yeah, in case you're a little kid and you can't, it's difficult to see over here. We don't want you to like stand on the wall and fall in, so you can just look at through the glass. Okay. This is the building that houses all the indoor stuff for the crocodilians. We'll see that in a bit. Actually, I think we'll go see that right now. The building does have a name. Crocodilian Pavilion, sponsored by the Jason Memorial Conservation Fund. Before we check that out, we're going to see this little outdoor enclosure. This is a dwarf crocodile, but it's supposed to be a spectacled caiman. Game on pause is just still. Nope, it's just still. Spectacled caiman, as well as a few others like a Nile monitor, radiate sliders, more radiate sliders, and Cape terrapins. So you can see some of them chilling there. Some turtles decided to go for a dip. I think our monitor's probably inside, so yeah, let's actually. Yeah, I figure this is probably the best way to go. Inside. Ooh, welcome to the Crocodilian Pavilion. So, realistically, this would be a very humid and hot room. You can see I use these coolers because they look a bit like the heating fans. And yeah, so I imagine these are just the heating fans warming up this place. We also have air conditioners though. I'll show you. I put some. Yeah, there's one back there. These were made by Just Goron, so I put air conditioning units all around. The place would be nice and hot and humid and ideal for crocodiles. So in winter, they can come inside here and it'll be fine. And some of the alligators can choose to come inside or outside, but winter they'll be locked in here. And they got a little pool, some basking lamps. Yeah, that's not too bad. And yeah, my idea with this area is that this building was like constructed first, and then the big sponsor came in from Gulpy, so they decided not to waste this building and turn it into an indoor area for crocodilians. That's why it looks a bit cheaper, because the big money for all the expensive stuff came only later, after this building was made. And this building was just kind of retrofitted and stuff, but I really like this. I like how narrow it gets in some spots. So anyway, let's see what we got here. So we already saw the alligators. Again, made a sign for the crocodile family. This is supposed to be a sign for gharials and false gharials. We don't have them in the zoo, but I also have another sign for alligators, so I felt at Caimans. So I felt I had to make the sign. Well, I still need to make the sign, but I will eventually. Like I said, I didn't finish all the signs. Yeah, here's an indoor enclosure for the monitors and caiman and turtle. I think the Nile monitor snuck up when we walked in, so let's see if we can see. Yeah, there it is. Going for a dip outside. Or drink. Yeah, we got a little starboard here, more glass. And a little bit of underwater view. These animals. Here we have the main exhibit. These are animals that are permanently inside the Crocodilian Pavilion. I don't even know if this counts as a pavilion. I just like the the wordplay of pavilion or crocodilian. So yeah, this is supposed to represent the Amazon River, because we've got some Oscars and silver arowanas. I don't actually have these in ZSU yet. I put a request in. I'm still waiting for it, but figured I'd just have them for the video so you can see. These are modded animals in. These fish are very difficult though, so they don't move a lot. I think they're based on the Cuvier's dwarf caiman, and as we saw earlier, as we can see now, they just sit there. So the problem is with these fish, they just sit there. I managed to get these two Oscars inside the water, but this other Oscar, it doesn't want to get in the water, and this arowana is...
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Half in the water, so it looks crippled, and yeah, this enclosure is a little weird. This enclosure is actually fully made of glass, and it's all water, and I just put some soil and rocks down, so it does count as some land area, but yeah, it's a bit weird. I guess you're wondering how I got the water and the parts and the fences so close together. I used the pre-build mod. Really, really useful. Yeah, eventually I'll figure out a way how to get these the arowana and this last Oscar inside the water. Maybe I need to move the fence gate a little bit so they'll be directly chucked in the water, but I'll see in the future. And of course, here we have Cuvier's dwarf caiman, and these are actually supposed to be the dwarf caiman. I've seen this mix online in like 2 other places where they mix the Oscars and arowana and fish with the caimans. can be a risky mix, but I like to think my caimans are chill. And also the fish we have in here are really big, so caimans might go for them. We also got two turtles. We got the yellow spotted Amazon river turtle. Of course, they're just weird art pieces. Yeah, this is the sign supposed to telling you about the turtles and the caiman, but didn't get them off that. This is a sign where I talk about alligators and caimans. Oh, and this out the back here, I think we saw this last time. It goes to the, you know, those cat enclosures, the Boerewors van, baboon cage, and the puma. Yeah. Like I said, I was supposed to put a water treatment center here, but I forgot. Probably something for the future. Here we can see, we can get like, you know, nice eye view with the caiman. That's actually quite cool how we're sitting here. Eye to eye. Then over here we got some indoor enclosures for our dwarf crocodiles. I imagine a dwarf crocodile will come in here, and then the turtles that were in the iguana exhibit, so the slider and the soft shell turtle would probably come in this one. And I guess if I wanted to make it bigger, you can just open the gate here, and then whatever's in there gets a bit more space. But okay, I'm not stuck. But just like how the outdoor enclosures have fish, so you can still see stuff even when the reptile's inside. Inside here, I'm also going to get fish. I haven't gotten the fish in ZSU yet. That's why these signs say fish coming soon. It's also because I haven't drawn the fish in. So I still need to draw the fish to put in there. But yeah, Congo tetras and crebensis are going to go in here. I figure the turtles might eat them a bit. Yeah, those turtles can eat fish, so what I can do is like put a little barrier of some kind here, so when the turtles come in for the winter, the fish will just be limited to this area. But once it's summer and the turtles go back inside, the fish can go all around here. Yeah, this is also just spare holding in case I get another dwarf crocodile. It doesn't get along with the other one, I can just put it in here, even if it's in summer. A few more exhibits. So these ones aren't supposed to have any fish. This one over here and this one here, because I figure the snapping turtle will probably go in one of these two, and then as well as the alligator. I'm hoping in the future I can get a Yukari Caiman, so maybe put the Yukari Caiman where the juvenile alligators are, and have the snapping turtle in here permanently, but I don't think I'll be able to use the mod because I tried putting animals in this enclosure, it didn't really work. This enclosure is fine though. So I could put the animals in here and they move around quite well. But yeah, blank signs because, I mean, nothing's in these enclosures anyway, so that's why the signs are blank. But in the future I'll think of something to put there. I'm not quite sure on what's actually going to go in here in the winter anyway. Well, that's for the future. Yeah. Come around back this way, we got the last view at our fish and caiman. You can also admire the struts and that I put up. I like these supports. It's like almost a warehouse type of vibe with these supports. That's what I was going for. Got a sign for our animals, the ones and then yeah. Oh, I think they all came inside. Nice. So yeah, they can traverse through this door, and they can all go swim in both water bodies. I really like that. Very nice synchronized turn there, guys. 10 out of 10. We're sending into the Olympics. And over here you can see we got a thing for now crocodiles, but also more fish that go inside. So you can see this is supposed to be for Lake Tanganyika, which is one of Africa's Great Lakes. And I did like have a little dot map here, and then 2 dots on the lake, then we have the big outline of the lake. Yeah, and just like all the other Great Lakes in Africa, like Victoria and Malawi, it has a lot of cichlids, so in the future I'm going to have quite a few cichlids in here, as well as so like 5 cichlids and another fish species that's just going to be in here, so even if the crocodile's outside, you can look at the fishes. That's also why it says fish coming soon, because I haven't drawn the cichlids yet. I also don't have them in ZSU yet, so but soon, once the requests go through. I'm I'm actually part of the staff team. I should work on those requests. But I mean, I could work on the request, or I can show you all the reptile stuff. I'll do it. I'll do it soon. Don't worry, if you put a request in ZSU, I'll check that eventually. You can see I use the in-game aircons here for the outside, but then for the inside I used just Goron's thing, which is really great. Yeah, crocodiles are all outside, so we'll see them in a bit. You can actually go see them in the reptile show area. As you can tell, it's ooh, what time is it? It's oh, it's almost time for the reptile show. Let's go and watch the reptile show. So yeah, 11:30 is the reptile show, and the alligator feeding's a little later. Yeah, for the alligator feeding, you'd go over there. The crocodile feeding, you can come and sit in this arena. And we've got this big underwater view for crocodiles. So we can see our crocodiles over here. We've got 4 of them. And ZSU, they're males, but yeah, I just use the females because the females are smaller. And my crocodiles are supposed to be younger. And that's the fence we saw last episode. I didn't want to show you. So yeah, in case you're wondering what's on the other side of the fence, it was the crocodiles. We can go walk there later on to see what it's like. This enclosure also isn't just a show area. It's also a crocodile exhibit. We've also got a few fish in here. So yeah, with crocodiles inside, you can come and peek at the fish. We've got a banded tilapia, southern mouth brooder, and more mosquito fish. I've got lots of rocks and that they can retreat into if they want to escape from each other or the crocodiles are bothering them. Ooh, the lighting is actually weird at this time. There. Now I can see the crocodile nicely. Actually, I do have a show set up over here, so I have a little keep a talking point. Come on, sunk into the ground here. And keepers do actually use it. The only problem is that for some reason the Nile crocodile, this one's way smaller than that one. Okay, that is weird. I did not notice that before. I'm gonna have to get a smaller crocodile because this one is massive. But anyway, sorry. The Nile crocodile, he doesn't show up on the educational points. I have no idea why. I spoke to Leaf about it. He said probably get it fixed in the future updates. But I do want to show you the show function. So there is a little way I can cheese it a bit. So yeah, I put a saltwater crocodile in here. And the game obviously recognizes saltwater crocodile, so I can just put that down. Boom! Animal Talk Point 1 is open. Let's see if I can set this to a bit earlier. April. And hopefully we'll get a show starting. Aha! We can see some guests are coming in to sit down and watch a show. So I didn't enable standing guests because obviously I just want everyone sitting down. And this would also be reptile shows. You don't want people running around for reptile shows because you might have harmless animals like a corn snake or something, but also puff adders. You don't want people running around when there's puff adders and whatnot all about. But I'm scared the keeper's not gonna, the educator's not gonna make it in time. Let me see if I can get one quickly. You can see all the guests are coming in. We can take, where are you going? Mr. Rainbow Head, there we go. Obviously feeding doesn't work because there's a big old wall and water here, but yeah. Then sit and watch the reptile show, everyone. You can see I put 3 different stands here, and then use some planks to fill in the stairs a bit. And I like the result. I still want to put some shade down for this area. This guy's telling us all interesting facts about the crocodiles. He's gonna bring out a black mamba. It's gonna get loose. It's gonna bite everyone, and the zoo's gonna get sued. Yeah, just kidding. But I imagine this reptile show you might take out stuff like the green iguana or the... I also have a tegu inside, which we'll check in a bit. Then guests can come and pet or take pictures with it, and then also the more dangerous animals like puff adders, which do actually show up in these shows. That'll just be a show, don't touch. But yeah, I really like the backdrop of the crocodiles. You'll be swimming around here, but you'll be in the reptile show. And maybe you'll even see the little fish swimming around. Yeah, that's... I don't think we're gonna stick with the whole show. We're gonna ditch a bit. It's getting boring. He's speaking some weird language I can't understand. It's also taking too long to bring out the reptiles. Just by the way, Planet Zoo, they don't actually bring out reptiles. That's what would happen in IRL, but not in this game. He just stands in talk. Yeah, another view of our snapping turtle and alligator enclosure. Over here we got some leopard tortoise. They were formerly in the waterfowl enclosure, but they soon got moved to this new enclosure. So yeah, we got a little shelter there, so in winter they'll all go in there and huddle up, stay warm. But now it's still warm outside. They'll venture out. Just a simple little grassy pen. Got these benches set up. These are actually functional benches, so you might see guests sitting on them. Over here we got a enclosure for our blue-tongued skinks. The sign will tell us. Ooh, there's the security man, high security man, and there's a reptile house, which we'll check in a bit. I want to finish the outdoor stuff first. Save the reptile house for last, because that's my favorite. We've got the rhino iguanas, which used to be an abandoned mongoose enclosure, but yeah, now they moved into the actual reptile area. That one sitting inside a rock. Yeah, we can see that's in the reptile house is the indoor area, but this is the outdoor. I also got that one over. Yeah. Lots of more signs, you know. Info on what's an ectotherm. Info on the rhino iguana. Reptiles, why they shed their skin. And got one for the white-throated monitor. So, yeah. This is a null monitor, but I'm pretending that the pair of monitors in here are white-throated monitors. And they got a pretty cool enclosure. They got this little shade structure. They can either sit underneath it, or they can come and sit on the top here and watch the people. And the reptile area, it's like a little lizard pride rock, if you will. I like that. Here's the outdoor enclosure for little bearded dragons. But yes, time to go inside. So you can see with the reptile house, I took a little something from the... If you've been with the channel for a while, you remember I made a reptile park, like a little 1 or 4 episode reptile park, or for us reptile park. And in there with that reptile house, I had these little mosaics with patterns of the reptiles on. So yeah, this one's supposed to be like a green tree python or emerald tree boa. They're pretty similar patterns actually. Some Gila monster patterns on the door. And then a blood python pattern on the exit. Behind the door you can see there's a... Well, this was supposed to be now monitor, but it looks like just... It could be any python, or... There's lots of snakes with that pattern anyway. Yeah, more signs. Another sign for iguanas, because our indoor enclosure for our iguanas are over here. You can see the keeper can go back here, go into the enclosure that way. It seems like iguanas inside. I think, like, realistically, I think the iguanas might climb this tree and sit on top there and bask, but I mean, the hitboxes, of course, the iguana. Oh, there's an iguana in here. It's stuck in the food pile. The green iguana. Of course, yeah, you can see they can only move here a bit. So a lot of the space is unused, but realistically, they would climb a bit. At least the green iguana would. Indoor space for our null monitors. A little rock where they can bask. basket if they want to go and hide in there, I guess. Yeah, so winter, they'll get locked in here for a few months and then released when it's warm again. Like I said, the green iguana might go out for shows. But yeah, we got a few in-game. I use the in-game terrariums. I don't really like the in-game terrariums. They are a bit limiting, but I try and use them if I can. Here we have the Gila monsters, and we see we got lucky. We got 2 over here. I did half the exhibit size with the plaster wall, so if you come back here you can see there's the rest of the box. And I did that for all these terrariums we'll see along there. First up, one of the big ones are Gila monsters. Got some signs for their fatty tails and venoms and whatnot. Here we got a boa constrictor, which isn't staying in the boa constrictor enclosure. Instead, the boa constrictor went to the blood python enclosure, but I guess if you glance at it, it kind of looks like a blood python. Yeah, often the boa just comes and sits here or coils up there. And then for these enclosures, I have emerald tree boa, an unoccupied enclosure, so that's for snake I'll hopefully get in the future, and emerald tree boa. But this terrarium is based on the yellow anaconda, so I put the anaconda in here, took the anaconda out, that's why it's empty, but I still got all the plants and stuff I can work with. And if in the future I want to put an anaconda in here, I guess I can just take down these walls. I have a makeshift anaconda enclosure. And over here we got the indoor enclosure for our blue-tongued skinks. That's why it says come visit us outside, because they're outside. Some of these don't have pictures because I don't have pictures of the animals. I'll draw something for them later maybe. But for now it's blank. We got a corn snake and a ball python. And sometimes there is an actual skink in here, so you might see it show up sitting over there, but sometimes there are spots here where the skink might sit, so I just covered it in plants or rocks. So if the skink is actually sitting there, you can't see it. Ooh, here we have a snake, which we can partially see. It's phasing through the walls and the rocks, but got enclosure for the puff adder. And this is kind of a predator-prey enclosure, because on the right side we have a snouted cobra, and snouted cobra actually hunt puff adder. In case you don't know, that's one of their main preys for snouted cobra is to attack puff adders. And puff adders actually have a neat adaptation, is that puff adders don't have a scent, or their scent can't be picked up by a lot of animals. So like experiments have been done on meerkats, elephants, dogs, and of course snouted cobras, and none of them could smell puff adders. And it's thought that other snakes, so like maybe gaboon vipers, also have that, where they just can't be picked up by scent. That's a pretty neat adaptation. You also notice on the floor we got some little murals here, teaching us about the world's largest reptiles. So yeah, for the largest extant tortoise, I have a little thing for Galapagos giant tortoise and for Aldabra giant tortoise, because they're kind of tie holders, but Galapagos has the record, but Aldabra has potential to become bigger. And also the zoo has Aldabra giant tortoise, so you don't want all these reptiles people are going to see and be like, oh, does the zoo have them? No, they don't. You can at least go see the giant tortoise. Got leatherback, the largest turtle, largest testudine. And I also put the Yangtze softshell turtle just to balance it out, but it is the largest freshwater turtle extant for now, because there's only 6 individuals known of the Yangtze softshell turtle, unfortunately. So they might go extinct in the near future. But I suppose they have long lifespan, so it might take a while for the 6 to finally die, and hopefully they'll get some babies soon. Anyway, moving along, we have a enclosure for Argentine black and white tegu. I think in the future, if I get a big snake, it'll probably go in here, but for now it's with the tegu. I know there's a tegu mod, but I couldn't get it to work in here. This enclosure is too narrow, so the tegu wouldn't move. Yeah, that's also why I put ledges there, in case I get a snake, so then the snakes can go up there. Because I don't think the tegu would climb. We also got some things for our heaviest snake, the green anaconda, and of course, the longest snake, the reticulated python. These silhouettes are life-sized. Yeah, so some of them I just imported a picture with a billboard and just went over it with art pieces. For other ones that are in the game, like our tortoises, I just used the actual in-game tortoise, went over and just outlined it with these font pieces, and boom. This is the indoor home for our rhino iguanas. They've got quite a nice indoor home actually. I think this one, yeah, this guy's coming inside. A little pool they can swim, rock to bask, some gravel, some sand, some plants. I dig it. Here's one of our bigger enclosures, the black mamba. Fastest snake in Africa. Some say it's the fastest snake in the world, but it's actually second to the sidewinder. I'm not sure what kind of sidewinder. This was a scarab beetle enclosure that I put the beetles in, took them out, and just decorated it. Over here we have this enclosure for our Southern African rock pythons. And I did try and actually have one. There's one of, you can see a little bit of the rock python sticking out there, made out of those rods, those Australian rods. Yeah. To get water in here, because using the actual in-game water was not going to work, I'd use these fountains. So yeah, concrete fountain basin for this one. One in the Tegu as well. That's a bit of a smaller basin. But yeah, that's how I got the water features in here. Because the snakes swim a bit. I'm hoping to get either one of these two snakes, the reticulated anaconda, in the future, and put it in here. Just so we have another one of these big snakes here. Because the only record holder in the zoo is the Aldabra giant tortoise, and it's technically not a record holder, but it's still big. Little plaque for the Komodo dragon. One for the saltwater crocodile, the largest reptile alive. Then we also got a little thing for the smallest reptiles because I felt like I had to. And you know, we got the smallest extant crocodile and sea turtle. These are fairly large size, but then we go really small, like the smallest tortoise, and that's the actual size. And we go to the snakes, and these snakes are super tiny. They're often confused for worms, earthworms, because they're fossorial, they live underground, and they're just really small. And then the lizards, which are some of the smallest reptiles in the world, as you can see there. You might need your glasses to see some of the signs, but yeah. Virgin Island dwarf gecko, the Ragua dwarf gecko, and the nano chameleon, all contenders for smallest lizard and smallest reptile. So I could put them all on this billboard. This is two 1 meter billboards that just merged together. Yeah, I really dig the billboards. Some people, they like the signs with the fake text and lines, but I like actually having, you know, words on the billboards, and you can also do more detail. But yeah, I like having actual facts so that if anyone comes in the future, the zoo, once I put on the workshop, you can actually come and read the signs and maybe learn a little bit. Wow, the rhinoceros vipers from West and Central Africa. There's no actual rhino viper in here because there's none in the game. Burmese python. This would be a juvenile Burmese python, because actual Burmese python grow massive. I'll probably have to put when it grows up, either send it away or put it in one of these. Or just pretend that it's a baby forever. ZSU doesn't really have proper rules against that. We have a bearded dragon indoor enclosure, but they're outside, so go visit them outside. Last but not least, we have our black forest cobra. And this looks like it's one big snake, but it's actually two snakes. You see this guy, he was in the water, and the other one is coiled up here in the leaves. So I like that. Sometimes you go to a reptile park and you see two snakes and you think it's a really long snake. You're like, oh, it's just two snakes, it's not that long. Sometimes the opposite, you see a really long snake and you're like, damn, is that two snakes? No, it's just a really long mamba or python. Yeah, this dude is climbing up the glass, so. This enclosure is this is inspired by the one at Johannesburg Zoo. It used to have black forest cobra, then it had mambas. I think now it has some yellow anacondas in. That's what it's inspired by. But yeah, that is the reptile park. You can see the exit here. This green is supposed to be green iguana. This white and black is supposed to be tegu. That's supposed to be a puff adder pattern. I don't know if you can tell. I don't know if you care, but yeah, that's just the snake patterns I used. I don't even remember what this one was. Probably a boa of some kind. Yeah, that's the reptile area. And yeah, oh, the show's over, of course. Check over here. Over here we do have a staff gate. I didn't put the murals down because I figured it's a staff door. You don't want people going in there, so you don't want to make it look enticing and fancy. So just plain old no entry sign, staff only, whatnot. We can get a big old overview. And then, like I said, last episode I avoided this view, but now I can see it. We can walk up this path, and on the right you see the Nile crocodiles. That one is massive for female. Damn, I need to get a smaller one. Yeah. And then this is the staff area to go backstage. So you want to go the outside of the Nile crocodiles you can, and then to go into all these reptile enclosures you can go out here. I put this opaque glass because it doesn't let too much light in, but you can still see if you're gonna maybe knock an alligator when opening the door. Also, I like this little pathway I did here to get to the Nile crocodile in this enclosure. Little gate here, and then to go up to the crocodile. Little gate here. And that is the reptile park at Cloudfall Zoo. I do hope you enjoyed it. I really like this area. I mean, usually stuff that I base, like I said, didn't really have anything I based this on. This was just all kind of loose, like me freebuilding. But it's still, I really like it. Usually if I have a reference it turns out better, but I really like this. Again, really fancy for a South African zoo. Fairly new zoo, but still. Oh yeah, just another thing I want to mention. I did try and put the blue tilapia that we saw over in this enclosure in this one, but I think because this enclosure has two water bodies, it was a bit weird because the fish would come in this one, then be like, oh, there's a water body over here. Let's walk all the way on land, come over here, then be like, oh, there's a water body over here. And it would walk back and forth between the water bodies, and it was annoying, so yeah, I took them out. I can try and do something where I make this just one enclosure, this water body, but I mean, I did try that and it didn't really work that well. But we'll see in the future. But yeah, that's all we've got to show for this episode. Hope you enjoyed. And yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Not sure when that will be. I haven't started work on that. Might even be a Clayton Zoo episode. If I ever get around to building that, but yeah, you might have to wait a while again. So, sorry about that, but I hope I'm sure it will be worth the wait. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.